New at noon, there's been a change at the Corinth Alcorn Animal Shelter. Joining us live to tell us about those changes this afternoon is Meridith Perry. She's the interim director there. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
So what are some of the big changes that are happening so far?
The biggest change we've had recently was back in September. Our previous director retired, and so I've stepped in just as the interim for the next, 90 days, which that would be up at the end of November. We're currently trying to hire for a shelter manager, so until that position is filled, I will continue on at the shelter as the director.
So are you doing the shelter manager and the interim director position, or?
We're doing, well, I am currently doing both, but
Okay.
we do need a shelter manager, and then we also need a director, and hopefully we can get that manager in before the end of this year. And then hopefully we hope to hire a director probably towards the end of next year as we get more funding and those things going, yeah.
So what are you looking for in a shelter manager? Just touch a little bit about the description for that.
Yeah, so basically we're looking for someone who can just manage what's happening just inside the shelter walls on a day-to-day basis. So we're looking for somebody who has management experience, managing employees, managing daily operations, that kind of thing. And then also as well as somebody that has some experience with animal management as well, because that's a little bit different than managing some other things. But so those two things, those two pieces are what we're really looking for. Just somebody who's got some operation management experience as well as some animal management experience too would be ideal.
So what is another change that's happening besides personnel issues? What are some things that you want the community to help you guys with?
So our biggest challenge right now is funding, and I know a lot of shelters and rescues face that same challenge. It's not just us. But I think what a lot of people don't realize in our community is that we do have a contract with the city and a contract with the county. However, those two contracts combined do not completely cover our annual operating costs. So we start off every year with a huge gap to the tune of about $70,000 to $100,000. So fundraising is critical for us, and we are looking for more avenues for fundraising, more folks who would like to do planned giving, just ways to be able to find a way to fund the shelter so that we are not worrying about daily expenses, because honestly there are months when we struggle just to pay water and electricity bills, and we want to really get to a point to where we are not operating sort of day to day, but just in a future, like looking towards the future and having a long-term vision for the shelter, so that we're not worried about some of those day-to-day costs and how we're going to pay those bills. So that's where we're really hoping to find this next year.
And I know you said you're focusing on just finding funding, but as you were saying, like, this is not something new for a lot of humane societies, and overcrowding is not something new as well. So are you guys experiencing overcrowding right now? Like, do people need to house animals for the holidays?
Yeah, so overcrowding I think is always been an issue, and I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. And again, that's not just us. I know Tupelo and other shelters face the same problem. Right now we have about 100 dogs and 45 cats. So we are at max capacity. We really can't take on any more animals, and we are a no-kill shelter, which means we don't euthanize for space. So there are a lot of animals that we do have to turn away, unfortunately, because of that. So we really need help from the community fostering animals, adoptions. We would really love to see our local adoption rate go up as well. That would be super helpful. So things like that, just helping get the animals out of the shelter so that we can bring those in that really do need a place to stay, that might be injured or sick or those kind of things. So
thank you so much for joining us, Meredith.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you heard her. Make sure you go visit the Humane Society, but don't turn us off just yet. Coming